Okay, we're out on a call today on a cow spa that was leaking. And what the problem is that it's got a diverter valve that is sitting crooked in the collar. And when it happens, you can't screw the cap down tight enough and they leak. And so we've got a way to fix that. We'll show that you a little later in the video, how we take care of that. So this is a diverter valve, and it normally has a handle on the top. And what it does is diverts water from one set of jets to another. And you could have 150 gallons a minute running through that with a large pump through 2-inch pipe. What happens is, over time, the tubing hardens and shrinks a little, and it'll pull on the valve. And if you notice, it's touching here and not touching here. Well, the sealing surface is actually this part of the nut. Right here is the sealing surface. So if that nut can't go down far enough, it won't seal, and the valve will just never stop leaking. And you can see that somebody has tightened this nut so tight trying to make it stop leaking that the nut is actually cracked. And we're going to show you how we fix that. So here's my Mach 3 program on my computer, and this is actually what I use to operate the machine. And I don't have pendants or encoders to move this manually, so I just do it with the jog function here. And there's the part secured, and the router's running at low speed and is ready to go. I'm going to go ahead and try to touch off on this part, and we're going to be moving at increments of 1/10 of an inch. All right, the reason we're doing this manually is just because would have taken a little bit of effort to write a CAM program for this, so I figured just bolt her down with a bearing and cut some, turn it by hand, cut some, turn it by hand, cut some, turn it by hand. It worked out pretty good. Okay, we have two nuts here. This is the standard nut. This is brand new. We have a new O-ring sitting in there, and you can see there's a lip that's proud of the threads inside. This is one that I've machined down on my CNC router, and you can see that the threads are now proud of the outside. What that's going to do is allow this nut to go down far enough so that it can bottom out and seal. So let's go ahead and put that back together real quick. All right, so this is the valve rotor, or the gate, that goes down into the valve like this. And we got some new O-rings here. Seal them up with some magic lube. Before everybody starts laughing and saying crude things, it's food grade. So if you can put it in your mouth, you can put it other places if you want, but I don't know if you want to. That's between you and God. So make sure you lubricate all your O-rings. You don't want to put any of this grease on this surface, because what will happen is it'll make it sticky, and any grit or anything that gets in the valve will just stick right to this valve and seize it up. It's just plastic on plastic. So we got a nice new O-ring here we're going to put on. Fits into a groove that's machined into this. And we have our new nut. What I like to do is put the what I like to do is put the nut on the rotor. That way you can make sure the O-rings went in there properly. So now you can see just how crooked this valve is on this cut down valve, because we're touching here, or almost touching here, and we're a good 1/8 of an inch high on that side. And that was the entire problem, is that it could not screw down tight enough to seal the valve up. So we got it all back together, and just put the cap back on it, the handle. We've got a diverter that works, and no more leaking.